Hey guys, Rob here with McDojoLife, and today's McDojo news, we're going to be covering a story that's been going on for years but might finally get resolved. It's a story of two brothers who are also MMA fighters who murdered a man. Let's check out the story. In September of 2020, 4 men were arrested on charges of manslaughter in the death of a 21-year-old Cape Verdean Italian man in Colleferro, a town south of Rome. Willie Monteiro Duarte died after being beaten with kicks and punches and a brutal assault by the 4 alleged assailants from a nearby town of Artina, after he had attempted to save his friend from being beaten. The 4, currently in prison, have been named as brothers and mixed martial arts practitioners: Gabriele and Marco Bianchi, age 26 and 24, Francesco Bellogia, age 23, and Mario Pancarelli, age 22. The 4 were apparently already well known to police and feared in their town for their propensity for violence. One of Duarte's friends, who identified himself as Alessandro, said, "Everyone knew those 2 brothers. They've been fighting and beating people up in the same way for 2 years. They've committed other beatings." The beating took place September 6th of 2020 in the center of Colleferro. However, there were no security cameras in the area. According to reports, Duarte had noticed his friend being threatened by another man and immediately stepped in between the two in an attempt to defuse the situation, a gesture for which the President of the Republic awarded Duarte the Gold Medal for Civil Valor posthumously. However, the aggressor made a phone call for, quote, backup, and within minutes, a black Audi Q7 pulled up, and the aggressor's 3 friends got out and beat Duarte until he, quote, stopped breathing. The attackers allegedly fled the scene in the SUV driven by a 5th member of the gang. A local woman who witnessed the attack said, quote, "I will never forget the screams of that young boy. He said, 'Enough, please, enough. I can't breathe anymore.' Poor creature. Those were devils, not human beings." The attack has been condemned by politicians across the spectrum and caused widespread disgust in Italy. On September 7th of 2020, a day of mourning was declared in Colleferro, as well as in Pagliano, a nearby town where Duarte lived. Lazio Governor Nicola Zingaretti commented on Facebook saying, "Willie wanted to be a cook. Today, his mother tells us about it. We all mourn this generous young man, along with his friends and family. We will name a hotel institute in Lazio after Willie, for him, for his altruism, and his memory against violence." Zingaretti added, "The Lazio region undertakes to pay the legal fees in the proceedings for Willie's death. We will not leave the family on their own." The hotel where Duarte worked also launched a fundraising campaign to assist Duarte's family financially. Italy's Foreign Affairs Minister Luigi Di Maio posted, quote, "You can't die like that. At 21, killed by a bunch of thugs, beaten with kicks and punches. It's not possible. Willie deserves justice for whoever killed him and must pay an exemplary punishment." On July 4th of 2022, the court sentenced the MMA brothers Marco and Gabriele Bianchi to life imprisonment for voluntary homicide. Francesco Bellogia was sentenced to 26 years of imprisonment, and Mario Pancarelli was sentenced to 21. The Court of Appeal, however, granted generic mitigating circumstances to the Bianchi brothers on October 11th of 2023. Reducing their sentence to 26 years of imprisonment while confirming the sentences for the co-defendants who participated, even if with different roles, in the brutal attack, holding them guilty for material complicity in Willie's murder. The General Prosecutor's Office will ask the court for a life sentence once again for the 2 brothers at the Supreme Court hearing on April 9th. Let's unpack that. So this 21-year-old Duarte sees his friend and sees another guy getting into a verbal argument. He steps in to try to defuse the situation. That coward of a human being who was about to attack his friend decides to call for backup, and a SUV full of thugs jumps out, including 2 brothers who are also in MMA. They beat him to death right there in the street, with many witnesses watching this. Then they all get caught, and the 2 brothers, who are MMA fighters, get sentenced to life. Due to some legal bullshit, the 2 brothers get their sentences reduced to 24 years. 24 years for taking a person's life. By the way, they're trained MMA fighters, and they felt the need that they all had to jump in to beat on this kid. But now, things are taking a turn. It seems prosecution is not going to let up about this, and on April 9th, we're going to find out if they're able to get that turned over back to a life sentence. This brings us to the question of the day. Do you feel these 2 brothers should receive life in prison, or do you think 24 years is enough? Keep in mind, both of the brothers are in their early 20s. Or at least they were in their early 20s when this started. They're probably in their mid-20s now. Be sure to answer that question in the comment sections below so that way I know you watched the entire video. Also, I look forward to reading them. As always, thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, and memberships. Check out McDojoLife.com. Keep the martial arts legit.
My baby got robbed the other day by degenerates. So she wanted to learn some new form of this self-defense. So she did her research and perused it online and found this dude said he could move shit with his mind. He called himself Seafood Paul Zimmerman. He got a dojo with a strip mall near Cinnabon. Now she spends all day trying to break boards with her thoughts, but the only thing she's